Good morning guys and welcome to a new video. So in this video we're going to continue talking about the AK74, the new grinder from Starseeker. And as we discussed in the previous videos, the specs of the grinder. Today I'm going to open the grinder with you to show you the burr chamber and the burrs. It has blind burrs, 74mm burr, and we'll also have a look at if it's possible to change the grind range. Okay, so to do that I'm going to turn off the grinder. As I discussed, or as I showed you in the previous videos, the unboxing video, there is a switch button on the back side. We need to always switch it off. So when you switch it off, you make sure that grinder is not connected to the electricity, like that. It takes like a few seconds, and then this screen will turn off, like the DF64V. And then once it's turned off, you can start opening the grinder. So to open the grinder, first we need to remove the first part of it, which is the dial. I mean the dial number. This is magnetic. You can just remove it by taking it out like that. It comes out easily. And then we need to like remove the screws. So there are two types of screws. The first is the like M3 screws. So there are 4 screws. These screws are holding the burr itself, and these 4 screws, the normal Phillips screws, are holding the dial indicator, okay, or the dial knob. So we will first remove the dial, the burr itself, so that to show you the burr how it looks, and then after that we will look at changing the dial or the grind settings. So the grinder comes with this Allen key. This is suitable for the screws of the burr itself. So simply I'll just remove the 4 screws. It's a good chance also to see if it has any like bean retention or coffee retention inside or no, while unscrewing it. So I'll just put the camera in the middle so I can also work properly, and you can also see with me how it looks. And they said this is magnetically aligned, so there's no need to worry about alignment like the other grinders. And here we go. So we remove the 4 screws, and that's how it looks from the inside. So this is the piece that when you change the grind indicator here, like that, this will control that part. So that part will go like out and in. When it goes out, it presses here, so the burrs get closer to each other, so they grind. So when you like change the settings to a coarser range, so this goes outside, so like that. So right now it's all the way for the finest. If I switch it all the way to the coarsest, it goes a little bit out. So this is how it works for now. Maybe we can change that. We'll see together how it works. Okay, so that's about the first part, and then let's see how the burrs look. So they should have blind burrs. Yeah, see, that's the burr. The burr doesn't have any holes or any screws. It's just magnetically aligned and magnetically stick to the machine, as you see. I think there is a little bit of coffee. I'll just quickly clean it using the vacuum. So I just used my Xiaomi bar vacuum. It's very simple and it really cleans very well. So that's how the burr looks now. So it has an auger here. The auger is just there to slow feed the beans to the burrs, so that you get more consistency while grinding. That's it. The auger is not very big. It's just a small one. And this is the first part of it. That's the first burr. So that's how the burr looks. It looks very similar to the DF64V burr. I think, yeah. It has also a coating, something like the DLC. They say it has titanium coating, so this should give it more life, which is also something good. So that's the burr and how it looks. So this burr is supposed to do espresso and also filter. However, they are working on another burr that is only dedicated for filter coffee. So that's how it looks inside. So there is one spring. This spring is how the auger is pressed in and out against the other, against the other burr. And the other burrs, of course, magnetically stick here to the body of the grinder. So to remove it, there is like a tool that they should provide that you put it here, so it pulls the other burr magnetically outside. Let's now put it back and see how to take it from there. So there is a hole here. The hole has to be always on the top, because that's the hole that the dial numbers will stick to, because there is a knob here. So this knob has to go inside the hole like that. Okay, so that's the thing. So I will first put back the burr. I'll hold it from the middle, and then I'll put the screws one by one. I'll try to put them on the opposite sides first to stick it. We did the first two. The remaining will be easier. Okay, so right now I put back the grinder, and to make sure it works properly, I'll just turn it on, and I will, okay, so turn it off. Now let's remove the other part that controls the steps. Great. So that's how it looks from the inside. It has two pieces, this ring, and that's the knob that has the sign. The sign was already pointing at the finest settings. So it's easy to put it back at the finest settings. But I believe that when I move this, it will change the settings of the grinder. So let's see that together. So I'll turn on the grinder, and I'll make sure it goes for the slowest RPM so that I don't damage the burrs in case they touch. And then yeah, as you see, so that's the zero, that's the true 0 point. I'll keep the grinder here at the 0 point, and then I will put this one back. So right now it's pointing at 0. So I should make sure that this goes inside one of these holes. This knob inside should go inside one of these holes so that there's no more clicks for it. No. Of course no. Yeah. So when this, yeah, so I'll keep it like that, and then I will put back the screws, and I consider that this is the finest I can go. So if somebody wants to go only for coarse settings, you can always push or do another rotation for the grinder, so it can only start with coarse settings in case you want it with the brew burr, because they are going to sell it with another set of burr that's only for brewing. So there's no sense to get a brew burr and then to grind fine with it. So it's always good to go back. I believe that I can use the grinder without this knob if I want, or if there is any 3D printing that is going to happen, to replace this one and to only be placed on the other metal piece inside, so that you can always use it as a stepless grinder, or that we remove one of these knobs, the knob inside, so it can always go in and out without any like many rotations, without being restricted at one specific rotation. So this is the grinder after opening it. Now let's throw in some coffee and see the finest settings we're reaching right now with it. So I'm going to throw some beans at 1000 RPM and see the finest settings. So right now this is the finest step we are on right now. Okay, seems to be very fine. Yeah, espresso. Let's put it all on my hand and see. So like any other grinder, this has fine settings, coarse settings, and so on. So I believe it's up to everyone and how he's going to use it. You can change the rotation itself, so it gives you more fine or more coarse steps. So at this step, I want to see what is the coarsest settings I would get, which is number 45. So I will make it at number 45. So I think the whole thing can change if we remove the knob inside this dial, so it can go as many rotations as we want, whether we go fine or we go coarse, like the other Starseeker grinders, the Edge and the Edge Plus. Okay, so let's turn it on. Let's see the coarsest. Put the cup first. Let's see the coarsest we get now. Yeah, that's a filter coffee. It's not a French press, because originally I think it was not set to the true zero, so that the finest settings were not enough for espresso, but right now it is. Yet this happens right now that the coarsest settings, number 45, it's not a French press, it's just a filter like a V60 or Chemex. So that's how it looks. I believe it's not coarse enough for French press or cold brew. Yet it's up to everyone's recipe. Looks nice, looks consistent in the grinding, and I'll give it a lot of more tries and give you my feedback in the end. But initially it looks nice. It's very well manufactured. Doesn't look big as I was expecting, something like the DF83, but it's actually not that big. On the counter next to the other grinders, it doesn't look very big next to them. I like the colors of the screen here, or the knob. Looks nice. And I like that it has a timer, so if I forget it like the DF64V, it will not keep going all the time. I can set the timer as I did in the first video to whatever number of seconds I'm aiming for. That's also a good thing about it. And I like that it has an on and off switch on the back side, so if I don't want this one to be on all the time, I can simply switch it off from the power switch on the back side. So that will it will turn off the grinder and like shut it down. I also like the knocker here. It's not magnetic that I can remove like the DF64V, yet it has this knocker that helps to take out all the remaining of the coffee inside, in addition to the bellow on the top. So let's together do espresso with the grinder and see how the result will be. So I'm going to use my ALM copy machine, the same lever machine I had like 2 months back. And I'm trying to set the mirror so that you can see the extraction while going. I think right now it will show it, and I try to zoom it a little bit in or get the phone closer by pulling the lever. And for that I'm going to use a home roasted coffee. I usually roast my own coffee. This coffee I roasted with the new roaster. I just posted a video on it. It's a medium light coffee, and we're going to see how the grinder will perform. Coffee looks beautiful. I usually use 19 grams of coffee. So I usually go 1 gram over the basket size. So if I use the VST 15 grams, I usually put 16, sometimes 17 grams. If I do an 18 grams basket, I usually do like 19 or 20 grams. Okay, so I'm not going to do any RDT. This is how the beans look like. They look beautiful. This medium light roast, and I'm not going to do any RDT because the grinder has a plasma generator, so it should be having a good result with static. So let's try that together and see how the static will be. So this is how the cup looks like before grinding, and let's now put the cup and zero the scale. Yeah, so let's also measure the output together. So it's set to the first settings. Around 14 or 15 seconds. I honestly like to play with that knocker. It's very nice, very satisfying. And this is how the coffee looks like. There is a little bit of a static, but inside the cup it's not very messy around the grinder. It's not flying away, so very little static. This is how the grind settings look like. The ground coffee looks fine. Let's see how that will be in an espresso shot. I'm setting the machine to 92 Celsius, and also the kettle is supposed to be reaching 92 by the time I make my puck prep. So I'm going to use this puck screen. It's MHW 3 bomber, and this is the IMS 18 grams basket, the Barista Pro Nanotech. And for the puck prep, I'm going to use the two simple things I usually go for, which are the Yumikot and gives me excellent result every time. Give it a tap, and then I use the force tamper. That's it. And then I'm going to put the box screen. Meanwhile, I add water in the cup, and then I add the water inside the chamber of the machine, so that the cup is being heated by the time I add the water into the machine. Then I don't throw the water in the cup, I put it back in the kettle so that I don't waste the water. This machine holds up to 120 milliliters of water, which is a good quantity for people who like to go for like a long goal or so. It's going to be good for them.
cup hot. It's a double wall cup. It gets hot quickly because the wall of it is very thin. So let's see how the extraction will look like. Actually, let me try to get the phone closer. And then I'll turn on the timer and I will start the extraction. So I give it short time on the 3 bars, then I go all the way up to 9 bars. Then I drop it a little bit to 5 or 6 bars, and there we go. This is the extraction. Happened in around 30 seconds or so. This is how it looks. Looks nice, creamy. The coffee is fresh also. The extraction time is nice, and I think the smell is amazing. So this is how the settings look like at settings 0. However, as we mentioned, we can turn it into a stepless grinder if we want by a very simple thing, which is, I'll show you. So to turn it into a stepless grinder, there is one simple thing that we need to do, which is removing these 2 small balls from that part that has the dial itself. So as you see, there is one ball here and there's another ball here. These are the 2 balls that are responsible for the clicks when we do move between the settings. So if we get it to be a stepless grinder by removing these 2 balls, simply when I click a ball like that, it goes inside. So I can use a pin in order to take it out, and then the grinder will be stepless. And once it becomes stepless, you can go wherever you want with the settings. So it will help you always to get to the desired settings you are looking for. Meanwhile, I believe the extraction went well, and this is how the coffee looks like. Very creamy and nice. And I think I'll conclude my video with that one for now. Later on, we'll try the grinder for filter coffee, and I'll leave the link to buy the grinder in the description of the video.
So that was everything in my video today for this like Starseeker AK74 video grinder. I'll see you in the next videos, and thank you so much for watching.